What is up, my peepholes? This is your guy, Kalai, and welcome back to Budget Buys. Now today I have yet another set of Bluetooth headphones to share with you, this time being the LED Light-Up Sport Earbuds from Series 8 Fitness, aka Five Below, because of course Five Below came out with more Bluetooth, and these are intriguing. Originally I wasn't going to cover these, but I was curious about them because everything on the promotional art on the website, as well as on the packaging, shows a specific type of light being used, and I just had to know if it was, especially since it says LED and not something else. But I actually caved, not because of my curiosity, but because somebody actually showed interest in the product on one of my other videos. And that told me that at least one person will be watching this, and yeah, that was enough to make me cave. So, if you haven't noticed, they're not actually in here because this packaging is anything but unboxing friendly. And in fact, it's going to be pretty tedious to get the headphones back into the package for my thumbnail. But for the time being, let's just get this out of the way and bring in the actual unit. And there we go. Now you'll notice that these have an ear clip on them, which I guess that's what makes them sport earbuds as opposed to bog standard earbuds. And that's actually a really great thing in my opinion, because if we flip these over, you will see my nemesis. And that is these little rubber gaskets that fit inside your ear canal. Every time I run into these, that is how they're supposed to stay in your ear. Instead of hooking on the outer ear with something like this, like a standard earbud does, it shoves into your ear canal, and I've got very sensitive ears. I'm prone to ear infections and just irritation in general, so I typically avoid these things like the plague. In fact, the way it was packaged, those were hidden from view until I bought it. Up until then, I thought it was just ear clip, earbud, we're good to go. Instead, it's ear clip, earbud, evil. But thanks to the ear clip, everything sits right outside of my ear canal, and I can wear these for multiple hours at a time without issue. So, points there. Now, another one of my nemeses when it comes to earbuds is the flat cable. Now, you will have seen the flat cable on the Origin Plus earbuds in my last Bluetooth headphone review many months back. And those were annoying because it was just the right design to try to tug the earbud out of my ear. In fact, it even had the controls on the cord itself, so that gave it a little extra weight to just pop right out. I kept having to shove my fingers into my ear to reseat everything. Heck, even without the controls on the cable, I have another set that I was going to review a while back that I ended up not reviewing because I couldn't use them for any prolonged period of time, just because when the cable would flex and this was shoved into my ear, it would translate into sound. So it sounded like somebody was just messing with a spring right next to my ear, and I was not really able to concentrate. It kind of drove me over the edge a little bit, just a little bit. So bonus points all around, especially since the construction of this cable, yeah, it does try to twist things a bit, but it's still sturdy enough that once it's in position, it doesn't like to move, and the ear clips keeps everything in place. Now, before I go forward talking about the controls and features and whatnot, I want to talk a little bit about the light effect. Because like I said about the packaging and the promotional art, it looked like it was not LED. It looks like it's using what's called EL wire, electroluminescent wire. In fact, I've got some right here. And all it is a piece of wire that you run power through. It's inside of a little sheath, and the wire itself is coated in phosphors. Let me just go ahead and turn off the light, because I actually thought ahead and put my preamp on a separate circuit, and hit the button. And now hit the button again, and one more time, and off. So that's EL wire in a nutshell. The reason I thought it was actually potentially in use here is because during Halloween of last year, Five Below actually carried this stuff. In fact, I haven't double checked their glow section. They may still have more, but they actually carried EL wire. However, it's not exactly feasible in these headphones due to the fact that an EL wire driver is typically this large, uses AA batteries, and really just could not function in this kind of setup. I mean, it technically could. It does output enough voltage to drive, but at the same time, the battery in these would probably die within minutes. So yeah, it's not doing EL wire. Instead, it's more akin to these little USB cables that Five Below has sold in the past. I don't know if they still sell them. That has a filament down the center with an LED on each end. So let me go ahead and pull these out of the way and just do a quick demonstration. And once again, turn off the light. Come on, foot switch, there we go. As you can see, when it works, it's neat. What they did was they ran a filament through the center and put diffusion points every inch or so, and it looks okay. It doesn't always look okay. In fact, if I reach down here, unplug this one, plug in one that I dumpster dived from Five Below, because of course I have, you'll notice that I have light at the ends, but the previous owner or somebody packaging it broke the connection on the fiber optic. So you're only going to get a certain length from the LED where you see light. So they couldn't have followed this exact specification. Otherwise, you have a high risk of faulty units. That being said, I have a couple of the ones with the shifting color LEDs, and they were garbage, literally. So I may be dissecting these to harvest the color shift LED to put in these in the near future. That would be kind of cool. So, like I said, the system in place in the headphones is similar to these USB cables, except instead of a very thin fiber optic with breaks at every inch or so, you have one solid strand of fiber optic that is about 2 millimeters thick, minus the sleeve, which does a great job also reinforcing the cables to keep it from tangling and twisting, like I said earlier, as well as just strengthening the part that runs along with the internals of the earphones, earbuds, headphones, things. Let me go ahead and turn these on to show you what the effect looks like and just give you a rundown of the controls in general. So you'll find everything you need on the left earbud, not the right one like I was holding. Remember, the right earbud is the wrong earbud. That's logical, right? On the left earbud, up top, you have a rocker switch, which is your track seeking switch, as well as a volume control. If you hold it down, you can actually adjust the volume at earphone level, which is great because some of the models that they have don't have that functionality, kind of like the Cosmos Bluetooth headphones that I reviewed even further back. Man, I'm reviewing a lot of Bluetooth. Maybe that's why I'm getting emails every day from shady Amazon sellers asking me to review their $60 plus Bluetooth tech. I'm not going to do that though. I want everything to be $5 or less for you folks. So, you've got your rocker switch. You've also got a power switch right here. Not here. This little indentation on the left is a button. The indentation on the right is nothing. Literally doesn't push down or anything. So if you hold down this switch for a couple of seconds, you'll get a light. I said, there we go. Let's see. Okay, you'll notice maybe, blue and red flashing. That means that we're in pairing mode. Let me go ahead and grab my phone, turn on my Bluetooth, so I can show you everything else in action. There we go. Bluetooth is on. And we are connected. It actually connects pretty quickly to the last device you paired it with. So that's a good thing. And you'll see that we're at intermittent blinking mode. Well, at least I hope you'll see. Let's do the power switch again. There we go. Well, we were in intermittent blinking mode. I guess it helps if I have an app open that does audio. Let's just hit that button, because the power button is also a play pause button. There we go. Intermittent blink. It is now playing audio from an app that I don't want it to play from, but you wouldn't be able to hear that. Blink. And there we go. So yes, it has an intermittent light blink function using LEDs running through a 2mm thick or so fiber optic. Also has a solid LED mode that it should not have gone into just now, but it has. Let's just turn that light off again. Things are getting interesting. Oh, now you're going to misbehave. Of course it is. It doesn't like pause for a long period of time, apparently. And the blink will show you the play mode. That is something I just discovered. I didn't know that. But if you hold down the power button for 3 seconds, you switch from blink mode to solid mode. And of course, if you keep it held down, you go off. So you have an intermittent LED mode, you have a solid LED mode, but you do not have a no LED mode. Which is sad because that actually would affect the power. Now, speaking of power, I'm going to leave this in solid mode and pause this app and just show you what you're supposed to get out of this, as opposed to what you do get out of it. According to the packaging, let's see if I can pull this up. Aha. Playtime, about up to 2 hours is what it says on the packaging. Now, in the manual, which I have right here, it says you're supposed to get, let's focus and see, there we are, 1.5 hours. Now that's a bit of a discrepancy, wouldn't you say? It gets better. I actually tested this in both the solid LED and the intermittent LED modes, and on solid LED, I got just over 2 hours. On intermittent LED, I got just over 3 hours, which is awesome because all of the other Bluetooth headphones that I've tested from Five Below, all 2 of them, got about 3 to 4 hours. And that was a consistent number that I got every time I tested them. Well, they didn't have an LED built in to change times. So if you keep this blinking, you're going to get about 3 hours, assuming there is uniform build quality amongst all models. I'm kind of suspect on that. I'm suspect on that for anything, really. But it's not terrible. It's actually a bonus because if you're using these in a brightly lit room or in daylight, no one's going to be able to see the LED effect anyway. In fact, you can barely see EL wire in those scenarios. So keeping these in intermittent mode when you're out during the day or in a brightly lit area like the mall or whatnot, not a problem. If you want to look really neat at a club event or in some kind of darkly lit area, or if you're just walking at night, solid is fine. Hopefully you're in an area safe enough to walk at night and you're wearing something appropriate. Don't step in the street when wearing black, folks. It doesn't end pretty. But you'll at least have a lit up head? I don't know. So that is the light function. Let's talk about audio quality for a second. I'm a little bit of an audiophile these days. I typically use headphones that are valued around $100 plus, though of course I don't typically pay more than $5. In fact, $5 was the only time I paid more than $3. I'm going off on a tangent. Anyway, I typically use better quality headphones than a $5 pair. I stick with Audio-Technica, Sennheiser, Focal, things like that. However, these were actually very surprising. The other 2 pairs of headphones that I tested were a wee bit, let's say, anemic when it comes to bass response, in that the bass response was almost not there. The notes were played, but there was no body. And I'm a metalhead, so I need my bass. These delivered at least a little bit. The bass was a bit muddy, so you had a little bit of distortion, but it was there. So you will notice a little bit of distortion if you listen to metal, EDM, hip-hop, anything with a thick bass track. You're going to notice a wee bit of distortion, at least at the beginning, until you get used to it. Where these really shine is the treble response, because the Cosmos large headphones and the Origin Plus skinny earbud headphone thing, those were very what's called tinny. The treble response was harsh. It was actually kind of earbleed inducing if you had something like a squealing guitar solo or somebody who just had a high-pitched voice. I'm looking at you, Sirenia. But you're going to have some issues there. These actually are very good when it comes to the treble response. I had no issues whatsoever when it came to those songs. So audio quality here is actually a bit better than either of the Five Below Bluetooth headphones that I've reviewed in the past. However, those actually had a feature that these are missing in that these don't have a built-in microphone. So you're not actually able to use this when taking calls, unlike the Origin Plus or the Cosmos Bluetooth headphones, or probably many of the other varieties that I just skipped over because I decided not to review them since they didn't have the cool LED effect. So you take a bit of a cut there. Overall though, I actually think these were worth the $5, especially since I dug around AliExpress to see if I could find anybody selling headphones that were earbud style with LEDs built in. I just couldn't find that. I mean, I found some LED Bluetooth headphones that had them built into the cups, but these are unique. So yeah, $5 is not a bad price for these, for the audio quality, for the battery life, and for the cool factor. That's really all I have to say about them, even though I rambled on for quite a bit longer than I expected to. Anyway, until next time, this is your guy, Cly, signing off.